Moved to support this. I do think there are some more pieces of information that are useful, and I think that does help our discourse. It may be that the information that's requested comes forward and substantiates the role for replacement. I think it is a useful context to have some answers for this, and I don't think that asking for some work to be done on it now is incorrect or wrong. I do note, as Councillor Young said, this doesn't stop the AAP process. So, Rebecca, I'm sorry, you're still going to have to stand on cold street corners and go in for your soup at whichever location you choose to go to. That work you will carry on. And you may find that your numbers grow. You may not find that they grow and that you saturate out at some level that doesn't hit the threshold you wish it to. That doesn't stop us in the request for more information. I think that's absolutely fair.
It isn't a simple request for more information. At the bottom it says, after obtaining more information on these questions, the city commits to carrying out a further process of public engagement before proceeding. Ultimately, what Councillor Young is saying, even if we do go through an AA process, I would like to see it go through a referendum. I would like to see some sort of engagement strategy. So I can't support that. It is Council's job to continue to ask for more information, to make sure that we are solid and firm in what we do. I am disappointed, frankly, Councillor Young. So many of the questions that you've asked for here have already been answered over and over and over again, is to continue to delay. I understand that you're having difficulty with the decision. I guess what I want to say is this. We are in the middle of an alternative approval process, launched by resolution by this council a few weeks ago. You were part of that vote. It would be irresponsible for us to stop that process right now. Part of what we have agreed to as council is to good governance and ensuring that this process that we have started can come to completion is part of that. As expected and as a sign that the AAP process is working is we are hearing from citizens who are sharing with us important insights and opinions. Those who strongly oppose the city borrowing the money needed for this project are submitting petitions. The AAP process is working now. We are elected to make decisions that are sustainable and that improve the quality of life for our community, now and for future generations. If a significant portion of our community is opposed to the boring bypass to replace the bridge, then we will have a clear decision point in January. That is, but certainly the part about committing to carrying out further process of public engagement is just trying to backdoor your motion to halt the AAP process.
I'm being told that the information that I'm being given has been skewed to fit the desires or perception of desires of the city. And I would think that the people, the consultants that come forward, hold their own integrity very high, where they would not be able to be successful in the work they do. So I'm a little surprised at the comments, and that would take away any of the decisions I've made in the last 6 years, because then I should have relied on any consultant that has come forward to this team.
Continue to not like the answers that he's getting, and I think that's the basic problem here, is that the questions have been answered, but not to his satisfaction, and indeed not to the satisfaction of some of the critics. I appreciate that there is an alternative approval process happening out there, and I was taken aback by a couple of the comments that are being gathered from the public, because it does suggest to me that where Councillor Young believes we're being misled or getting misinformation from our engineers, that misinformation is going out into the community. I continue to support the new bridge with all the information that we have before us and the research that I've done on my own, is that it fails to address the transportation needs that we will be facing in the future. It's reached the end of its useful life, and the sooner we get on with replacing the bridge, the better we're going to do financially, because there's certainly a significant and potentially ruinous costs associated with refurbishment that are just not being communicated accurately out there. For all of those reasons, I will not support this motion. I will not support subsequent motions that continue to ask the same thing over and over again. Thank you.
To Councillor Young, I say that this is not a court of law, and this is not an issue simply of economics. And this is also an institution that has been practiced in this particular fashion for generations and for a reason. This is the way the municipal government operates, and it operates this way because it has a long history and it's been tested and tried in historical situations. This is how we make decisions that are here. A lot of them I know for a fact are answered because I had similar questions and found the information myself. And to suggest that the information is skewed, if you feel like it's skewed, seek clarification. Sit down with our staff. They're more than willing to spend the time to go over and over and over the information that we gathered. If there's missing pieces of information, this council wants to know. I'm not supportive of the motion as it's written because of the final caveat at the end. I would consider the board, Councillor Young, seeking answers to these questions, and if he feels most comfortable with it being in the form of a motion, so he has some written response, that would be fine with me. I would only hope that that if in fact there are questions that require a massive investment of staff time or consultant time, that we be informed of that so we can prepare ourselves for the impact that may have on other work plans. The only two pieces that make me uncomfortable is one, the quantity of incorrect information that I hear from you when you're speaking to us about the conversations that you're having. There are so many of the things that you've spoken about that are just not quite on, that we have the data to show that it's opposite of the way that it's being presented. So it just makes me uncomfortable if it is in fact being presented to the people, the signatories, that it may not be accurate information. And I know
here behind the scenes is a push for the referendum. And I believe that what's really going on is that I'm firmly opposed to a referendum because I consider it an affront to representative democracy with much larger consequences to our political system than just our decision on this particular project. The question we should ask ourselves is, where does the use of referenda stop? In this electronic age, it is possible that the public could vote directly on anything and everything, making elected representatives obsolete. Now, some people might think that's just a positive development. However, I firmly believe that well-considered decisions come about only through the representative system, with people selected by their peers. We had an election just last year, and we were the ones that were selected to make decisions on behalf of the public, for the public. Energy that has been brought to this one. The kind of work that we've done as a council to go after our number one priority of providing social housing, supportive housing. Where are the people standing on the streets getting signatures on that issue? That would make our city a really caring, livable city. That's the issue that got me involved again in politics. Because I care about this city and I want it to be the best city we have in Canada, in the world.